Happy Thanksgiving Eve, Fumble fam. Welcome back to the Fumble Live. We are getting into some news about what DK Metcalf thinks about Jalen Hurts. We're talking about some bad news about LeBron. He might be building a negative reputation for himself. Before we do all that, make sure you subscribe to our tap the bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a follow. Now here's the Fumble Squad. I'm Devin Howard. You can find me on Instagram as Devin Howard.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Jackie Ray. You can follow me everywhere at JRay the Fanatic.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Britt Johnson. You guys can follow me on all social media at I am Britt Johnson. So right before the show, guys, we realized we have been around each other too long because we are going to cheers with all of our matching glasses right now. Cheers, ladies.
Cheers.
We all have matching cups. We didn't even know it. We didn't even plan it.
Right?
It's so funny. It's really funny that we all have the same tall glass and they are all full to the brim. That's what I
with water.
Vodka.
Right.
Yes, pure vodka. You know what?
That would explain your glitchiness, Devin. If it's vodka, that explains your glitchiness. It's not the internet, it's actually you because you've been drinking vodka.
Yeah. I really didn't want to spill my secret, but yes, I have been slammed down the vodka shot since 6 a.m. That's just the best way to wake up. And so, yeah, it's great.
So all week that Devin's been glitchy has been the vodka. This is last week I was drinking vodka all week. This week Devin's drinking vodka all week. That's what it is. That's our new story we're sticking to. It's not because we can't afford good internet.
Right.
Like a ready with me video so you guys can just see like how I incorporate vodka into my morning routine. On that note, let's get into the news, you guys. Let's talk about Metcalf. So he is giving insight into what the Eagles should do about Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts. So he was spotted in the comment section on an Instagram. He responded to the caption that asked, should the Eagles give the franchise to rookie quarterback Jalen Hurts? And DK responded, as you can see, he wrote, I vote yes. So the team lost 22-17 to the Browns on Sunday, and Eagles fans are calling for them to bench Carson Wentz and use Jalen instead. Carson has not been expectations this season, and benching him in favor of Jalen could save the team, could save head coach Doug Peterson's job. Britt, look at you for, I discussed this before, but do you agree that Carson Wentz needs to be benched, and would Jalen Hurts provide the team with what it needs?
We're not putting Jalen Hurts in the game. We're not, because I love Jalen Hurts. He is a rookie. He does not need to be on that field, especially when a team is in first place with a 3-6-1 record. We're not going to do that. We're going to leave it how it is. Carson Wentz can go in there and continue to, throw picks and do whatever and have all this kind of stuff. I don't care. They're still in first place in the division, and you do not need to put in Jalen Hurts and risk either having him injured or have something happen with him. Keep him and wait till next year. Let him continue to grow as a quarterback because I do really like him. I know Jackie would probably agree on that as well. But, I don't see putting him in being for what? You guys could probably win the division if you just win 2 more games. Like, it's not even that serious. Like, where you act like, like it'd be a life or death situation if you guys had to switch out Carson Wentz. DK Metcalf, that is not your team. Don't be worrying about who's quarterbacking for another team. You got Russell Wilson. You stick over there with your Seahawks and do what y'all got to do over there. Don't be talking about no other team, especially that's both in the NFC as well. Like, obviously, they're not the same division, but they're in the same conference. You don't need to be talking about anybody else in the NFC especially. So just keep on quiet over there, mind your business over there, and keep winning games with your Seahawks, because your guys' division is very difficult too. That NFC West is real difficult, and y'all are all really close too. So you need to worry about trying to win your division and stop worrying about what's happening in the NFC East, because we are all sucking together and we're fine in our own little ways. And don't try to put Jalen Hurts out on that front line to get shot up by somebody.
Right. That part.
So, Jackie, Jackie, obviously you agree with Britt. I'd like to hear your reaction to this news. And also, do you think that there's any way in which this would happen where Jalen does replace Wentz?
I mean, I hope not, but we just saw the Dolphins do this bonehead move of benching Fitzpatrick, putting Tua in, and then saying in the fourth quarter, hey, we're going to take – so it shouldn't, but it's a crazy time we live in. And I totally agree with Britt, though. I saw someone in the chat, I think it was Polo J, he said, then how is he going to prove himself? That's not a rookie's job, in my opinion. It's not his job to go out there and prove himself right now. He is a rookie. It is his job to get in there, learn the system. Like Britt said, if they win 2 more games, they're going to probably win. You know what I mean? If they win 2 more games, they're going to win that division. But it's not for what? It's not going to end in a deep playoff run. So there's no point in putting a rookie in there where you're going to damage his confidence potentially or make him feel like he has the entire weight of the franchise on his shoulders. That is not the rookie's job. The rookie's job is to be there to be the future for that team, and you can't let him be. It's hard to be the future when your confidence is damaged. So absolutely not. They should not put him in there right now. It would be a bonehead move if they did. I think fans are just tripping because they lost to the Browns, but they forget the Browns are 7-3 right now. It's not like they're not as purgatory as I thought. So calm down. Let that rookie go out there and absorb what he's supposed to absorb. So when he does get in the game, he's able to produce, but don't put him in there right now.
All right. So
thank you, Jackie. Thank you. We're preaching over here today.
It's all the vodka. It's a big glass of vodka we're drinking.
Hey, cheers.
Wait, more water. Hydrate. Keep it hydrated.
I'm doing it too, but it's showing up on camera for me. This is dumb. I hate my bad connection. Anyway, we had some strong reactions from you two. So for those of you who were in chat, what do you think about DK Metcalf weighing in on this Eagles situation? Do you also agree that it's a bad idea to place Carson Jalen Hurts? Let us know what you think in the chat. And now let's move on to this next story. Now, I hate this story. I hate this very core. And I know Jackie's going to hate this too, but we need to discuss. LeBron, he is officially earning a reputation as a bad tipper. So when an athlete goes into a restaurant or a bar or a club, they have these multi-million-dollar salaries. So you think they would be generous tippers? All too often we hear about these players who are leaving really office on huge checks. This is a time that LeBron is actually being called out for being an underwhelming tipper. The first time that we've heard this about him, so I hate that. So someone DM'd a pop culture gossip Instagram account. Anonymous, LeBron is brutal. In 2014, he was paid $60,000 to make an appearance at a club in Toronto. He had a huge rider and refused to take off his hood and show his face to all his fans who paid thousands to party in the same room as him. He wouldn't take any or leave his roped off table night. He was $10,000 in free booze and tipped $0. Not to mention security or assholes yelled at all the bottle service girls to stop lingering when we were just opening bottles and pouring drinks. He may be a very charitable man, but he is a server's nightmare. And then recently, when some of the Lakers guys were celebrating in Vegas their championship win, we also heard that they left a pretty awful tip that night as well. So this to be something that we got a lot. The only pass that I might be able to make is that when you're paid to make an appearance somewhere, I think that some people may feel that they don't have to tip because they're like, this is a job. Do you tip the production crew when you're filming something? Not typically. So even though I personally, if I'm ever doing a collaboration restaurant, which I sometimes do, I will always tip the servers. Maybe that's not common practice. That's the only pass that I can make. But Jackie, obviously I have to go to you first. Do you believe this? How do you feel about this? What are your thoughts in general?
I don't know if I believe this because I feel like LeBron being who he is, it would be hard. it's hard for me to believe that this is a real thing and it's happening 6 years ago and we're just now hearing about it. I think that the way that people love to trash LeBron, this would have gotten out long before that. So I'm just not sure. He's also not the type to just abuse his power like that. So I don't see him going in there. I can see your point. I can see him thinking, okay, I'm getting paid to make this appearance. But if he's getting paid to make an appearance, I don't see him walking in there with his hood, sitting down and not actually appearing. People won't even know who you are if you're sitting there with your hood on like that. So given the way that people love to hate on LeBron, I just don't see this taking 6 years to come out. So I just absolutely positively do not buy it. The Vegas thing, I think that was probably somebody else's responsibility because veterans do that to the younger guys all the time. You're responsible for this bill. So that's probably not on him either because I know they went as a group to Vegas. It wasn't like it was just him. So I don't know. I have to hear more details on the Vegas thing. But this 2014 thing is definitely, I don't believe it happened at all.
Okay, so Jackie says it did not happen, and she is the bronzexual, so maybe we need to take her word for it. Britt, what do you think about this? What's your reaction to this story? You believe it?
I believe it just because I've seen it a lot of times, not necessarily believing it because it's like, oh, LeBron James and he would definitely do something like that, just because athletes do that all the time. I used to do bottle service in LA for a long time. I was a bartender for 10 years. I know how it works. I've been in those situations, and we do, like, I remember when All-Star was in LA and we had hosted parties. I hosted a Rick Ross party and there were a bunch of athletes there, and there were athletes that were paid to be there, or their tables were comp tables, and they don't leave anything. And then the bottle service girl's like, hello, like, I could have had another table where I could have been making all this money. Like, the girls don't like necessarily, and then the hovering thing or the lingering thing that the girls said, like, the girls don't like being with the athletes at those tables because a lot of times they don't tip. They would rather be with some drug dealer that has this other table in the corner because he's going to leave a bunch of money. That's just the way it is. That's the nightclub business, and that's how it's always been. And it is very unfortunate because then those girls just don't make any money that night. We actually don't. We get paid like minimum wage, if that, to do this job. And so you're literally living off tips alone, which is why earlier in the week I said with LA closing, make sure you guys tip your servers, because now, if they do get unemployment, they're getting unemployment off of a minimum wage salary, not what technically they make, which is their tips. You make, you can make $1,000, $2,000 a night in tips sometimes, or you could make nothing at all, and you're like literally don't know what your section's going to look like or whatever the case is. I literally this week I had movers come. They kind of messed up something of mine and had to come back and fix it. I still tipped them for fixing it, even though they fixed it for free. I just feel like that's just what you're supposed to do. Like, it doesn't matter if you're getting a free service or not, or anytime I've gone places and I've gotten a meal comped, you still tip the server. That has nothing to do with like the situation of, oh, we're being so nice and we're going to comp something, or we're going to take this bottle off the bill. Still tip as if the bottle was on the bill. Like, don't now leave a lesser tip because your bill is cheaper. Like, and I always try to preach that just because it's a tough or a sensitive spot to my heart, because I was in the business for so long and living off of, tips and stuff like that. And if you go to another state, in Georgia, you get paid $2 an hour. So technically your checks are $0 every time you get a check, because you're paying that in taxes, and you're literally living 100% off tips alone. So I always made sure I take care of anybody that you're supposed to tip. In situations, whether it's your nail lady or, the bottle service girl or whatever the case is. And I understand, though. Like, I understand how they get in these situations and they don't even, like, there's, the whole Lakers is at the table and somebody thought somebody else paid and somebody whatever. I think everybody just go back and check who took care of the server. Did y'all take care of this person? Did y'all make sure this person's good? I think that's something that not just athletes, but everybody should kind of work on. Like, okay, but did anyone leave a tip? Did y'all do this? Did y'all make sure this is good? Like, and do that, because a lot of these people, that's the only way they eat is if you're tipping them. So,
but a lot of these restaurants too, like when you get to, that's another reason why I have a hard time believing this. When you get to a certain amount in LA, sometimes when I've gone to restaurants, if you order more than $100 worth of stuff, then gratuity is automatically included. I know they do that in Vegas. That's part of the reason why I feel like it might be what Britt said, like maybe somebody just didn't pay their portion or something. I'm not sure, but that should be included. I feel like the restaurant, like what Britt said is true. These guys are doing that. They're living off of the tips. If the restaurant is going to pay these athletes to come out, then include the gratuity in that. So to make sure you're taking care of your people, you know what I mean? Because sometimes when these bills get too big, it's automatically included. Yeah.
Yeah. Some places do for sure. And even I used to work with the Ritz-Carlton, and we comp stuff all day, all night. Like that is our thing, is to make sure every guest is taken care of. That's the Ritz-Carlton experience. And every time that we would comp something for somebody, the Ritz-Carlton would pay the servers a 20% tip off of that. So they made sure the servers were still getting a tip, even though stuff was getting taken care of, because then it's like, I don't want to comp this bill because then I know I'm not going to get a tip, because a lot of people think once you comp a bill, that means you don't need a tip either. And so some places do, but a lot of places don't. I know in LA, a lot of times they won't add gratuity to a comped table. It'll only be to like a regular table. So I just think people should just double check on that. Just make sure the servers were taken care of, especially now that we're in a situation like this.
Right. No, totally. Especially now, even on takeout, I think it's nice to tip a little, even though people normally wouldn't tip on like a takeout order. But I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat saying it's his money. They can do what he can do what he wants with it. Athletes, work hard for their money. And well, yes, I agree that athletes don't owe anyone a handout. In the U.S., it's a tipping culture. So that's like completely common practice to tip when you're at a restaurant, when you're at a cafe, at a bar, whatever. That's part of our society. And sure, maybe it shouldn't be like that. Other countries like Australia, they don't have a tipping culture because they pay their employees a normal hourly wage.
Well, salary. Yeah.
Right. Yes. That's what goes into, dining out or receiving a service in the U.S. So yeah, athletes don't owe anyone anything, but tipping is a necessity here. And that's how we were all raised. That's part of the culture. So, but that isn't to say like LeBron was negligent and just did because he's an asshole. I think that it was probably one of the things that we all said, right? Like, I don't think that he was going in there.
No, and nobody's saying LeBron has to give everybody $1 million or tip. Like, really, like we know Chad Johnson tips really well on smaller bills. Nobody is saying that. It's just like, make sure they get the standard 18 to 20%. Like, and those people work really hard too. A lot of those people are trying to pay for school and do this, that, and the third. Like, how dare you say one person works way harder than somebody else? Everybody has a different job and different paths in life, and we all deserve to be compensated for work that we put in, period. You guys are so sad that you guys feel like this in the chat. That's really sad.
All right, you guys, let's get into post out. Thanks for that conversation. And Jackie, take it away.
Yes. All right. It's time for Post Up Thanksgiving Eve edition. You guys, I'm excited about this one. You guys seem to be real chatty in the chat today. So make sure you guys chime in on this one, because I feel like every single time we talk about LaVar Ball, you guys miss all the compliments that we actually give him and you go straight to the critique. So make sure you chime in on this one, because I want to know what you have to say, but type fast because there is a lag, just so you know. But I actually agree with LaVar on this one, so I just want to see if you guys agree, because LaVar has guaranteed a championship to the Hornets if they follow his advice. So take a listen to what he thinks they should do.
Hey, with Melo, you're going to be good. You bring in Jello, you're going to be better. You bring in Lonzo, you're going to have the best. I guarantee you win a championship, because that's the original big three. They grown organically. Them dudes can switch and play at a pace that nobody can. The last time my three was together, they was babies and they went undefeated. So imagine what they can do as grown men.
Okay, so look, LaVar later, he pointed out that Lonzo is a free agent next season and he would probably jump at the chance to play with his brothers. I actually agree with LaVar on this one. I don't think that they'd win a championship, but I think if you have all three Ball brothers on the same court, that it definitely is must-see TV. And I found a tweet from Chris Clark who agrees. It's not our Chris Clark, but I just really wanted to say that. He says... He says, I mean, this man ain't been wrong yet. If nothing else, I'm definitely more interested in Charlotte basketball than I was before seeing this. And I agree with that. I think it comes down to that is what would happen with this situation. I think it would be dope to see all three of them play together, regardless of what you feel about either of all three of them. I think it would dope to see them play together. They might actually go the distance. That would be dope. That would change history. So I'm for it. Devin, I know you've been checking the chat out. Do you see anybody? Let me look. Does anybody else out there agree with LaVar on this one?
Jackie, no one agrees. In the chat, everyone's like, no, I don't agree. Not going to work out. Not winning no championship. Devin, he's captain. So people are not in agreement with you at all.
Y'all, you just can't please y'all. I can't critique the man. I can't agree with the man. I'm just gonna move on from LaVar is what I'm gonna do, because this is silly. So anyway, speaking of the Charlotte Hornets, let's talk about Terry Rozier. Now, if you recall, he signed a 3-year, $56.7 million contract with the Hornets last year. He will be an unrestricted free agent in 2022. So it's a little soon to talk about what he will and won't do, where he will and will not go, unless, of course, he likes a tweet saying that he would make a great fit somewhere else, which is exactly what happened. So this tweet was posted that the Clippers recently explored a deal with Terry Rozier per SI Chris Mannix. Now, bro fits the culture, as Russ Smith said, and Terry Rozier liked it. So, of course, when I first saw this, I was like, oh my God, here goes this fan frenzy of people just really going in and saying, oh, he's trying to leave, he's trying to get over to the Clippers. But let's take a look at these fan comments really quick, because there was only 2. I actually took a screenshot that was like super long so you could see. These were the only 2 comments on this post. One guy said, okay, old news. There you go, Leo. The other one said, losing, no championship, what culture? And look, that is it. There is no more comments on this. So you guys are clearly not falling for the okie doke on this one. So Britt, I'm going to go to you. Do you think it's safe to assume that Terry probably just appreciated the acknowledgement more so than he's eyeing the Clippers?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. I'm gonna just say less on this one, and we'll see what happens. I'm gonna say less though.
The moment we want you to say more, you're choosing to say less. Why are you doing this to us on Thanksgiving Eve?
I'm learning.
Oh my goodness. All right, but you guys are going to have to stay tuned, because if this rumor starts to grow, Britt will say more. All right, so yesterday we saw Beast Mode handing out turkeys. I love that. He was doing that to random strangers. But apparently the Greek Freak is doing the same thing. So Super Greek posted this tweet that says Giannis was seen handing out food and care packages after a workout yesterday evening in Sopolia, the neighborhood in Athens where he grew up. No cameras, no documentation, just a man giving back to the same streets that raised him. And then the screenshot where you see the little Instagram post, that's the woman that apparently must have saw him come out and do it. So she took this screenshot, and she's the one that let us know that he came out to do this. I love stuff like this. I love when you just don't need the cameras. You just want to give back. You just want to make people feel loved and welcome. She, again, said he distributed those boxes to a church. I shout out. I don't think any of us are surprised that Giannis has done something like this, because he just seems to have a really, really big heart. So I'm really excited for that. But that whole Marshawn Lynch thing yesterday actually created a flashback moment. It's one of my favorite flashback moments. You guys might not remember this, but we're going to flash back to a time when Marshawn Lynch was actually with the Seattle Seahawks, and Richard Sherman actually had a right to talk stuff. And you can see he's been giving back for a minute. Check out this flashback.
What you doing for Christmas? Christmas? I mean, I got to get to Thanksgiving first. I'm going to give out turkeys back in the hood. I'm with you. You want me to come? You will? I appreciate it, though, big dog. Hang on. But I'm going to be in the hood giving out turkeys, trying to restore my community.
I told y'all he will always be beast mode to me. I love that. Is a perfect pre-Thanksgiving flashback. I'm so proud of that. That's, I don't know, just gave me the warm feels all inside. All right, let's move on to this next one because you guys might not remember way back in 2015, there was this guy, Joe Anderson, who stood outside of NFL facilities saying that he will run routes for food. He ended up getting signed to the Jets practice squad. Didn't really pan out for him, didn't really mean much, but I still love the unique idea of pursuing your dreams. So now cue Stephen Achaeus. Now, he posted this to his Instagram and his Twitter. He said, "Hi, my name is Steven. I'm a kid from Africa. I play basketball and would love to study and play for a school in America. Please, if there's someone out there who can help me, please do. But if you can't, please help me retweet this till an NBA player or high school coach sees it." Now, check out his video, too, because he also posted a video. I thought this was just really inspiring. You know, he's doing the best with what he has to pursue his dreams. And I thought this was, especially this time of year, the holiday season, you know, we tend to be more loving and giving. And so I went to the comments and expected that. Americans, we are horrible. We really have to do better. There was so much hate, so much people telling him he's not good enough, give it up, his game is trash. These two were okay, so these are the ones that I went with. He said, "Bro, I'd rather have you try to become a doctor instead." He said, "Let me clarify, if he thinks his dream is to hoop and make it as a starter in the NBA, then by all means, go at it. I am just looking at the statistics, and you have a better chance to become a doctor than go to the NBA. A 6'4" doctor I've seen plenty of times." So I'm not mad at this. I am very anti trying to douse someone's dream. I don't like it, especially kids. I think you tell them to reach for the stars and then you try to help them get there if you can. But I get this. And that's one of the things that I've always said, you know, don't automatically assume the NBA or the NFL is your way out. You can be a doctor or a lawyer or president of wherever you are. You know what I mean? You can do other things. But then I did get a ray of hope. And this person said, "Young man, you're welcome to message me directly. I'd be happy to help you." I love this. That is actually a high school coach that tweeted that. So I thought that was beautiful. But then as I scrolled on, it was horrible. I saw nothing else that was positive and loving, which was so heartbreaking to me until I found Sharif's post. And this actually helped make my day a little bit better because Sharif O'Neal tweeted, "I'm going to do what I can to help, bro." So I was like, thank God, because I was getting so depressed. And then his post actually created Kendrick Perkins' post. He said, "The Perkins family will welcome you with open arms." So thank God for Sharif and Kendrick Perkins, because it was getting rough out there in those comments for me. But Britt, I want to go to you with all the negativity. This kid is out here trying to pursue his dreams the best way he can, and there's just so many negative comments. Like, what does that say about us as a country?
I mean, like what I've already known, like we all get these negative comments and we're just trying to do our job and he's just trying to like figure it out. And people always hate on people that are trying to do something when they're just sitting on the couch doing nothing, you know? So it's sad to see. And it's sad that we even have to be in a place where it's just like, well, you know, just know that haters are your biggest motivators, or like, we shouldn't even have to have that saying. We should literally have people that are actually motivating you and saying that is dope that you're even trying. And even that one comment that you read, like it was the nicer of the bunch, but even still, like let my guy live his dream. Let him try to do his dream. He's a kid still, you know, he's still got time to see if he can make it in the NBA or whatever the case is. Like, don't even even that was trying to squash somebody's dream. And it's so sad to see, like, every time we have like situations where it's like, once people come up and they are already big, like everybody gets all the applause and whatever, but the struggle to get to that point, everyone thinks you're crazy for having this idea or crazy for trying or you're never going to make it like this and yada, yada. Even one of my guy friends today messaged me and was talking about like, oh, well, if you showed more like cleave, then maybe you'd get more followers faster and yada, yada. And I'm just like, my guy, like, why can't my knowledge be enough? You know, why can't I like actually know what I'm talking about? Like, why is it because I'm a female and I talk about sports, I got to be naked on social media every day? You know, like people are always trying to like hate on something that they don't understand or that they aren't willing to do themselves and put the work in for. So I'm not surprised. It's sad. I wish we could be better, but I mean, I'm usually optimistic, but my pessimistic side, my Jackie side is coming out a little bit, and I'm just like, I give up on people sometimes. I really do.
Yeah. I definitely was surprised because even though I expected that, because I mean, every time I change my hair, I have to just kind of disable my DMs. Don't nobody slide in my DMs to say, hey, I thought they slide in my DMs to tell me what they think I should do with my life. It's so weird. But I just think with this time of year and with everything that the country is going through, I don't know. I just thought Thanksgiving kind of fostered that spirit of love and whatever. So I don't know. I wasn't ready for what I saw in the tweet and the Twitter, but yeah, let me go to another topic and let me get my ladies up here because we need to have a serious conversation because I feel like something is wrong in the world. I'm assuming you guys both play Uno, correct? Or at least have in some point in your life.
I don't know. Devin hasn't.
I know Devin doesn't play anything. All right, get her off the screen. It's just gonna be me. Devin, do you play Uno?
I've told you this before. I don't play
Bye,
Uno.
Devin. Bye, Devin.
All right, go. Bye, Devin. I don't even know why I tried it. I tried to make it a group thing, but it's just going to be me and Britt. All right,
Devin,
Britt.
I have an Uno game that she can borrow to play at her Thanksgiving picnic tomorrow. So if you want to stop by my house or you want to stay on the cell, I got you.
Okay, and so Devin, pay attention because we're about to school you on the proper etiquette of Uno. So Britt, I have to ask you, when you have one card left, do you or do you not say Uno?
You have to say Uno first. If somebody else says it before you, then you lose. You have to get another card.
Okay. Boom. Yeah. Britt's right. I'm right. Donovan Mitchell apparently got into a heated debate about this very topic. So he went to Twitter to take a poll on if you have to say Uno when you're down to that last card or not. And 61.9% of people agree.
How is it
so we are all... Right. Well, it gets worse because Uno decided to respond to said debate. And they said, while calling Uno out when you play your last card is a popular house rule, it is not required. What? Uno could have said less. They didn't even have to do this to us. Absolutely not. This is unacceptable.
What?
I don't like it.
What? Right. Say it to my face, Uno. Say it to my face.
The lies they are telling the kids right now. They are putting out these lies to the kids, and I don't like it. But I do like that Donovan Mitchell took this moment to clap back and set them straight. And he said, "I know it's your game and all, but this is the incorrect answer." Y'all need to listen to Donovan Mitchell when you play Uno on Thanksgiving. I am appalled that Uno did this. I've been playing this game my whole life. They're wrong. They are wrong. This is not right. This is not right.
Everybody's house rule. That is everybody's house rule. I've never seen a person that hasn't done that. That is like, stop.
Yeah.
Uno.
Yep.
Uno's
I'm so
trying to give everybody
Uno.
participation trophies. They're trying to do a participation trophy, and everybody's winning over here. Everyone's correct in their answer. No, Uno, we don't do that. We don't do that.
Nope. You wrong, Uno. You wrong. Issue an apology because you was wrong. It's not right. You messing up Devin's whole life when she plays Uno tomorrow. Don't do it. We're telling you. No, you gonna lose. Yeah, I'm telling you, people gonna get mad and be like, I don't give a damn what Uno said. This is how we play over here. I'm telling you.
Don't do that. Park over there.
Don't do that. All right, let's get to this next one because Britt and I have talked about this several times. She thinks Russell Wilson is corny. I have been praying for corny, you guys. I don't care what y'all say. I love Russell Wilson. He has sealed the deal for me with this one because him and Ciara have released their own fragrance. It's called RC, and they decided to play a game called What Does It Smell Like or whatever to promote their new fragrance. So take a look at this video, and I promise I'm getting this fragrance. I promise.
So I want to play a fun game of what you smell like. Okay, so we just have fun. Okay, so I'll start it or you start it?
Go ahead, you go.
Okay, you smell like a nice spicy chicken sandwich.
Hey, you know how those go. You smell like you about to get pregnant again. What it smells like.
You always got to go
You keep
there.
getting all up close to me like that.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
telling you, you know how I work, man. You know what I mean?
Stop.
Right? Let me get Britt up here because you keep calling my man corny.
So that's kids. Cover your ears, kids. Cover your ears, kids. Okay.
I was for that moment.
He is corny, but in my, as I have been getting older and smarter and less pettier, I am like, you know what? Maybe I do need a cornier guy, because I used to really be into the bad boy, like a guy that, like, is covered in tats, that like looks like he, might
In a
do
10
something a
rebound.
little on the side that he's not supposed to be doing, but doesn't, But I am, now that I'm like, okay, the reason why I haven't found a husband is because I'm going after the futures of the world and not the Russell Wilsons. So I have been trying to change, and that's which is why I tried with Patrick Mahomes, y'all. I tried it because he's corny too, but he picked the wrong Brittany. So.
He did. All right, so I'm glad. Welcome to this corny life. Well, I'm glad you're here.
The corny guy I should talk to. I should slide in their DM, y'all. Let me know.
Yeah, but you got to be cute and corny. Just you got to be attractive and corny. I can't. Yeah, and tall, and maybe not live in your mom's basement. Just a few stipulations out there. All right, let's get to this next one because I know you guys have seen this daddy-daughter gymnastics duo. I love them. There was one where she actually fell, and then his encouragement to her was so beautiful. I love these two, so I'm not surprised they've made it back into the post-up, but this one bothers me. I want to see if you can figure out why, but check out this daddy-daughter gymnastic duo. Okay.
Yes.
Do y'all know why this bothers me?
Good.
That is a baby. He could have dropped her on the baby. This mom has nerves of. Okay. Well, I'm not talking about her being on the mat. I'm talking about the baby in the crib right next to them, just hanging out, ready to be smashed.
I mean, her sister ain't that big. You're literally, Jackie, you're talking to two cheerleaders. Me and Devin both cheered, so I don't see anything wrong with this.
Oh my God. Did you see the baby in the crib just chilling?
So now, if he was doing like stunts like that with me, yes, that's a problem. But it's a little girl too, so I think it's okay. He's not gonna drop a little girl that small.
He's dropped her before.
Bigger than me.
We've literally seen a video of him dropping her before.
I will say he should probably move the little baby carrier a little bit further away, but I also think that these two have such a good trust in each other, and I can relate too, because my dad would like do stuff like, I mean, not this intense, but he would help me with my gymnastics stuff all the time too, in the house. Like I could hit the ceiling if I flew a little too high. So I think this is cute.
I have hit the ceiling, y'all. I have.
Me too.
My mom, when I was little, my mom was throwing my cousin up, and when you throw the kid up in the air and catch the kid, she was doing that to my cousin, and my cousin was a little chunky. I was pretty thin, so then she picked me up to do it to me, and she threw me with the same force she threw my cousin, and I hit the ceiling.
That's how
no.
I'm okay. I'm okay. The little girl's okay. The baby's all right.
Tell me why we have the big foreheads. Flat.
Right.
I have a flat spot in my head, in the back of my head, so that's probably from hitting the ceiling.
I have a gash in the back of I've never hit the ceiling. I hit the ceiling fan. My brother we were playing airplane, and he tossed me a little too high, and I was like, oh! It was the worst.
I swear, all of our parents now would probably be like, CPS would be called on them the way like they do stuff now. Like you can't even like flick your kid, and it's like, oh, CPS is coming.
Oh my God, these childhood stories are hilarious. I feel like we need a whole segment of just our childhood, we almost died stories. But All right, that's all I have for the. We made it. We here. All right, that's all I have for the post up. But before I get out of here, of course, I gotta tell you guys what we not gonna do. Now, listen, this next one kind of pisses me off a little bit for a lot of reasons. One, I'm not a fan of all the negative attention that John Wall is getting. Yes, I said that John Wall should have been more mindful about the video that he did with the what appeared to be gang members and throwing up gang signs. And if those are your people, if those who you hang out with, that's cool. Don't put it on social media. I get that the Wizards might want to move on from that kind of attention, but it's not like he's ever been arrested since he was like 18 or something like that. And I know Britt's going to be surprised about this, but the one thing that I loved about Jerry, you got to be like, have a Jerry's 90s mindset. You can do whatever you want to do off the court, but as long as you're playing at a high level on the court, it shouldn't matter, because it wasn't until Michael Irvin literally started having legal trouble that he started distancing himself from him. So I'm all like, if you're doing what you're supposed to do on the court, then that's all that matters. John is a little hood, but there's no indication that he's currently about that gang life. So I'm not a fan of that at all. I think that he should be given the benefit of the doubt, especially since yesterday he was doing his John Wall a volunteer thing with John Wall Family Foundation, where they literally went out and gave 1,000 free meals to people. They also handed out $25 grocery cards. I know that does not sound like a lot, but to people who don't have any way to get groceries, that $25 is going to help a lot. So they were literally out there doing good. Again, I'm not surprised. This is the season for giving. I know this is also the season for trade rumors, but I'm just not a fan of the way this reporter conducted this interview. So I'm just going to let you see the whole thing and how hard he pressed John Wall about these trade rumors. So, Leo, let's throw that up.
I have to ask you, obviously you've been in the news a lot, and there's a lot of confusion going on right now, especially with this Wizards fan base wondering what is going on. Can you set the record straight? Did you request the trade to leave Washington?
No comment. I didn't. No comment.
Do you understand the confusion, though, why people are just, they don't know what to believe? And what do you want to say to the Wizards fans?
All I can say is this, man. I worked my tail off all summer to prepare myself for the season, and that's all I'm focused on.
John, I have to ask you, these no comments are just, that's not you. We're not used to you saying kind of no comments. So I think there's a confusion as how did we get to this point? Why all of a sudden these no comments when we discuss certain situations?
No comment.
3 times, basically. 3 times he asked the same question. First of all, let me tell you this. It did annoy me to watch this interview. I have been a reporter in that situation, so I get it, because it is your job to walk back through those station doors with a dope soundbite, so you do tend to press people. I've done this before, so I do understand that it's part of the job, but I still think it's a bad look, because again, I couldn't even read some tweets on a kid pursuing his dreams, because there's so many jerks in the world right now, and I just don't think you take this opportunity to present yourself as a jerk. You're at a charity event. Maybe focus on his foundation. What is his foundation doing outside from giving food to people? Things of that nature. The reporter name is Scott Abraham. He's actually a good reporter. I actually follow him. He's obviously not afraid to get in there and push really hard to get the responses that he wanted. But what we're not going to do, Scotty, is listen. As a reporter, you need to actively listen to what people are saying as you're interviewing them. So, Leo, if you could just play the first little answer that John Wall gave, because I want you guys to listen closely, because the man did actually answer the question.
Going on. Can you set the record straight? Did you request the trade to leave Washington?
No comment. I didn't. No comment.
Do you understand the confusion, though?
So if you heard what he said no comment. I didn't, no comment. So if you had been actively listening instead of really wanting to get that soundbite, you could have said, hey, so do I understand you correctly? You didn't request a trade? And then if he says no comment again, well, you still have, he said, I didn't as your soundbite. Run with that. But I get that he's trying to have this titillating soundbite, and he's just pressing him at a charity event. So I don't like that. I get that you want the big story, but it's in bad form to press the man at a charity event, especially when he answered your question. So what we're not going to do is do this again. You're going to listen better next time, Scotty. Do better. That's all I got for what we're not going to do. Devin, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay. Because it is time for Brit's Takes.
All right, guys, today is Thanksgiving Eve, which means tomorrow is one of the hottest days in the NFL season. It is Thanksgiving football. We have games. Well, we actually lost a game because apparently the Steelers are not going to be playing the Ravens. That game has been postponed. This is the second time this season Pittsburgh has had to postpone a game. Both of them not their fault. In week 4, their game against the Tennessee Titans had to be moved to week 7 because of the fact that the Titans had gotten COVID. And now again, it's not the Steelers' fault again. The Steelers game this week, which was supposed to be tomorrow for Thanksgiving Day, has to be postponed because Ravens players have came out and they have tested positive for COVID. The Steelers, who are the only team in the NFL with an undefeated record, are very upset about this. Several of them took to social media. If we could get those tweets up. I got them all there on one page. Chase said, "What a joke." Another one. Delvin said, "Man, that's some BS." And Eric said, "I'm not gonna lie, NFL. This some BS." So what I took from those is that they're not happy about it. I don't know about y'all, if y'all read it a little differently than me, but it's plain as day to me that they are not happy about this. And frankly, I completely understand. Number one, I understand because this is the second time it's happened to them this season where they've had to postpone a game and play it in a different week, which made them have to take their bye really early in the season. Secondly, like both of those times was not their fault. The Steelers have been doing what they're supposed to do. They have obviously been playing great football and they want to continue that win streak. They want to continue the momentum. And we all know that happens a lot of times. A lot of times teams will be really, really hot. They'll go into their bye week and then they lose their momentum a little bit and then they come back and lose their first game after their bye. And usually people are like, how did they lose now? Like, they had more time to rest. Well, a lot of times resting is not a good thing. I remember my Dallas Cowboys a couple of years ago. We were really, really hot. And then I think that was the year we had the 12-4 record a couple of years ago. It was Dak Prescott's first year. And then we go into this time where, okay, it's last couple games of the season, and so we're not going to play any of our starters. Plus, we also ended up getting a bye the first week of playoffs. So now our starters go into 3 weeks of not playing, and then they go into a situation where they play the Los Angeles Rams in after that first round when it's the divisional round for the playoffs after the wild card round, and we lose the game, and we played terrible because the team had too much rest. There is a such thing as too much rest, and there is a such thing as losing your momentum if you don't just keep the fire going hot. The team has been ready and geared up and playing and practicing hard this week, coming off of a short week to play Thursday night football, and that's just the mindset they're in now. So to go into a situation where they do not have a game now, they're upset about it. And the Ravens aren't like a scrub team. The Ravens are a good team, so they could very well lose when they end up taking on the Ravens. I also thought it was a little weird that they're not happy about it. At first, I was just like, why aren't you guys happy? You guys get Thanksgiving off. Now you guys can eat with your family and do all of this kind of stuff. But to be put, I understand being put in the mindset where you guys did not. You had a short week. All NFL players always hate those short weeks because they have to grit and grind that much more to be able to play that Thursday night game. So they have this short week. And then are all geared up, ready to go, done everything they had to do. And then now they're like, oh, actually, never mind. You're not going to play right now. Just sit back down. And they're literally in their feelings like, no, I'm ready to play now. I don't want to play later. I want to play right now. And it's not our fault that this Ravens team has some COVID cases. Like, so I totally get it, especially since it's their second time. Steelers, I think you guys will still be, you guys obviously are on this road to where you want to be undefeated this season. I don't think we're ever going to have that Miami Dolphins undefeated season from the 1970s ever again. Patriots tried it and ended up losing in the Super Bowl to the Giants in that thing. So I just don't think that's ever going to happen again where we're going to see that. You guys were probably close to it, but I didn't think your season was going to go undefeated for the rest of the season anyway. Maybe it is a good thing that you guys lose a little bit of this mojo so other teams have a chance to do something. But I do understand it. I think it sucks. And a lot of times we don't really talk about what it does for the team that actually was doing everything right and didn't get COVID. And not saying that the players that got COVID did something wrong. They could have just, been in a wrong place at the wrong time, or somebody could have given it to them that they thought was good, and whatever the case is. But for the Steelers, I totally get it. Like, you guys are on this train and you guys are a machine, and it sucks when people like tamper with it or try to mess up what the schedule is. Like, I'm a very routine person. I like to know stuff in advance so I can plan accordingly. If stuff doesn't go in a certain way, I totally get it. I'll freak out and I'll get upset about it. So I get, especially on a football field, how you guys are just so trained to be amped up in certain days. I know players that, like, if it's a couple nights before, they stop having sex before the games. I know Aaron Rodgers had said that when he was dating what's-her-face, that's what a couple days before the games, they don't have sex anymore because it lowers his testosterone stuff before a game. And a lot of, I guess, NFL players do that too. Jackie, what are your thoughts on just the Steelers' mindset right now and them being so upset that they won't get to play Thanksgiving Day game, even though they do get an opportunity to now spend it with their families?
I think Thanksgiving Day is a big day because that's the day that that people are literally gathering around. I tell this story all the time about my family. Half of them are Jehovah's Witnesses, half of them are Christians, so they never get to hang out during the holidays because it's just not a thing. But all of them are football fans. So on Thanksgiving, there's just no really kind of holiday celebration. It's more of a family gathering to watch football. That's how we circumvent that. You know what I mean? So I think it's just, that it's a big stage. It's a big stage where everyone's watching. You're undefeated. You've got this record that you want to maintain. And so I think that it's not so much I get to have this day off to be with my family. It's, this is the Thanksgiving Day game. This is one of the biggest games of the season, the biggest days of the season. And I don't get to participate in it now because of this is dumb as hell. You know what I mean? So I totally understand them. You don't want to say, okay, look, just because especially with the NFL right now, none of the guys, and I've seen some people in the chat saying COVID is fake, and I definitely don't think that, but no one in the NFL thus far has really health-wise suffered from COVID. It's been one of these things like, okay, you quarantine for a couple of days and then you move on with your life kind of thing. So I get them seeing that, okay, look, there's got to be something else we can do besides moving our game to Sunday when we were all mentally and physically prepared to play on this big stage. So I just think it's a letdown to not be the center of attention on Thanksgiving Day. And I totally understand it because I was looking forward to it. I have to actually go back and redo a podcast now because we talked about the Thanksgiving Day game with the Steelers, and now it's like, oh man, damn. Now I have to redo that. So I totally feel where they're coming from.
Added it as our game of the week.
Could have exactly. So it's like I totally get where they're coming from, and it's just a huge disappointment.
Yeah, Devin, I'm going to go to you really quick. Do you think at this point, because of a team like the Steelers who haven't had those positive COVID tests, but have had to also suffer from two teams now that have had positive COVID tests to alter their schedule because of it, do you think that we should be talking now about those teams having to forfeit those games? Because if a team now has had to deal with it multiple times not on their accord, not any fault to them, not any fault to their players, but because of another team had to change their schedule, should those teams, should we really be considering forfeiting for those other teams?
I mean, it's such a tough situation. The fact that we've had been over and over, where people are obviously doing things that are not keeping them safe and they're going and messing up the schedule. I do think that forfeiting in some of these cases is probably the best option. I know we talked about that with the Titans and how people were calling for them to have to forfeit. And obviously, I don't love the idea of forfeiting, but ultimately we're in a pick. Everybody has to be responsible for themselves. They have to make sure that they're doing what they can to keep themselves and the people that they contact with safe. So it's a tough situation, but I think that since it's happening so often, it might be tough to happen.
Yeah. Especially, I feel terrible for the Steelers who literally haven't had any positive COVID tests, yet they have had to suffer most in the league now, and they've had to have 2 games be postponed at this point, which sucks because both times it was neither fault of them. So I get their energy and why they feel like, really, y'all? Like, not even, I think they would feel this way even if it wasn't on that big stage of the Thanksgiving Day game. Like, I think they would feel like this because they're like, really twice now, and we actually haven't even had the positive test. It's been other teams that have played us, and like, are y'all just scared to play us? And you guys are just having a player go rub up against somebody to get COVID so you guys have more time to get up schemes against us or something? Like, what is it? Like, you know? So, which I honestly want to put that past some of these teams, just saying. I wouldn't put it past some of these teams. But that is it for Brit's Take today. There will still be the Dallas Cowboys that are playing on Thanksgiving Day. So get excited, people. Great
the
day.
NFC League. The NFC League is doing the damn thing on Thanksgiving.
Earlier, I learned how to say less. This is a say less moment for you, sis.
This one for me. Okay, my bad. That's my bad. You're right. We can get a water toast. Water toast for saying less. There we go.
Except for I hate saying less. I don't know why I just did that. I participated.
Well,
I don't even know why.
You won't get to talk anymore on the show for Thursday and Friday. No, Devin will not be talking.
That's hilarious.
Okay, you guys. Well, I think we show a minute early today. Just as a reminder, we are not going to be going live tomorrow or Friday. We're taking some time off to celebrate the holiday, see our friends and family. So don't tune in to a live show tomorrow, but we will have Weekend Zone. Right, guys? There's Weekend Zone.
Yes.
And there's also, awesome, we have a bunch of other content that's coming out through the end of the weekend. So just YouTube channel to see all of that. Subscribe. Don't forget to tap the notifications. Give this video a thumbs up. Leave below. Have a very happy Thanksgiving, you guys. Be a responsible person. Wear your mask. Keep your family safe. Eat a lot of food. And we will see you guys for a live show on Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bye, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Woo!